Hey, so this is the last in our four-part series looking at protein myths. So in part one, we covered whether a high protein diet was dangerous or not. In part two, we looked at if protein shakes were inherently better than real food in terms of your protein intake. And then in part three, we looked at how much protein your body can effectively use on a daily basis. So now in the last of this four-part series, we're going to look at something called the anabolic window and see if there is an optimum time for you to take your protein post-workout. So there are lots of myths around this. We're going to bust a few of them, but let's get into the facts right now. So in the last of our four-part series looking at busting some myths around protein, we're going to be looking at something called the anabolic window and if that is actually a real thing, and is that window as short as the bro scientists and many people in the fitness industry would have you believe. So let's dive in right now to see if that myth can be busted or if it's true. The anabolic window is effectively a period of time post-workout where your body can maximize the use of the protein that you give it in terms of helping your muscles to recover, helping them to grow and to become stronger. Now, the bro scientists would have you believe that that anabolic window is a short 20-minute period post-workout. We've got to rush into the changing rooms, whip out your protein shake, give it a shake, no euphemism, and then neck that protein so that you're making all of those gains and you're maximizing all of that protein that you're taking in that time period. It's effectively based on the assertion that your body needs protein post-workout. It needs to start replenishing those nutrients. It needs to start repairing and building those muscles from that training period that you've just put them through. And therefore, the feeling is that the quicker you can start that process, the quicker you can get protein into your body, then the more effective it is going to be at utilizing and processing and synthesizing that protein. But is this myth true? Research in 2013 showed that there is an anabolic window, but it is not as short as 20 minutes. In fact, the actual anabolic window is more related to the gap between your pre-workout meal and your post-workout meal. So it's more beneficial and more important to think about how you're fueled from before you work out, through your workout, and then post-workout. It's not just about that post-workout window. And actually, that window is between 3 and 4 hours. So for example, if you were to have your pre-workout at 10 o'clock, then you worked out between 11 and 12, then you've got between 12 and 2 to have your hit of protein to maximize the use of that anabolic window. It doesn't have to be within that 20-minute period as the myth would have you believe. Now, even though this anabolic window exists and it's important in terms of building muscle and maximizing and optimizing what you're doing in the gym, you have to remember that it is just that. It's about maximizing and optimizing. So you don't need to beat yourself up about it if you miss that window, or if it's convenient for you to miss that window on a few occasions. It's not the biggest deal in the grand scheme of things. So for example, if you're finishing a workout and then you've got a choice about necking a protein shake and some chicken and rice, or you're going out for a family meal at a restaurant and you don't want to feel full before you go in there, then skip the protein shake and go on the family meal. It's not going to make a massive amount of difference to your overall muscle growth, fat loss over the extended period of time. It's really about zeroing in on marginal gains and making some marginal improvements in your muscle growth and in the repair process. It's not 100% essential. You don't have to kill yourself to try and make that 1 to 2 hours. You don't have to try and beat yourself up about it if you miss it. It's not going to be the be all and end all in the grand scheme of things. but it does make sense to have a shake or something like that, or even just some real food. As we learned earlier, it makes no real difference. Within that 1 to 2 hours, it does make sense. So if it's convenient, carry the protein shake around with you. If you want to go home, have some real food, either or, it doesn't make much of a difference, but it does make a small benefit in terms of the muscle growth and the recovery process. So in summary, there is an anabolic window. It's not as short as 20 minutes. Think more about how you're fueling yourself pre and post workout. So think about that in a 3 to 4 hour window and put your workout in the middle and just make sure you get a good mix of protein and carbs either side of that. But remember, we're talking about marginal benefits. All in all, you need to remember about your calorie deficit or calorie surplus, depending on your goal, and your overall calorie and macro intake across the day. Meal timing then comes in as a secondary or even a third level of priority after that. Okay, so I hope you found this video series useful. If you did, it'd be awesome if you hit the like button, and it'd be awesome if you hit the subscribe button as well, because I'm going to be doing some more video series just like this. And if you've got a subject matter you want me to talk about in a video, then pop that into the comments section below and I'll tackle that in a future video. But for now, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.